Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James, schooltrade.com. Today was August 3rd, 2010, our second trading day of the second month of the summertime trading, guys. We made it to July. We actually had the biggest month of the year in July, and now here we are, second trading day in the month of August. Now remember guys, there are 3 times a year that we want to be careful out there. The month of August, right? The last 2 weeks of the year, and what was it? Right? The end of the first quarter. Okay, so right now we're in summertime trading, so we're trading a little bit differently than we would during the fall. Before we talk about those trades we took today, guys, and before we talk about summertime trading, I want to remind you guys, there's a bunch of great stuff on the blog right now. If you're not watching this video on the blog, simply click the link below the video. That will take you guys over to sidewaysmarkets.com, which is our blog. You guys can use the search box in the upper right hand corner. Use that search box. You can search for any topic you want. Of course, a live support button. Guys, we've got somebody standing by 24/7 for live support. Right below live support, you've got your YouTube, your Facebook, your Twitter, lots of videos on YouTube that you may not have seen on the blog. And don't forget, guys, come join our Facebook community. We've always sharing lots of tips and tricks on our Facebook page as well. But most importantly, though, right below that is the follow me button. Guys, very important. If you want the most up-to-date information, you want to follow the blog. If you can't follow the blog, the next best thing is to join the newsletter. All right, so the newsletter will send you guys an email whenever we put something new on the blog. Now today we called a bunch of live trades on the blog. Right, last night we put a video on the blog reviewing the trades we took yesterday. Okay, we write articles on the blog. So guys, you want to be paying attention to the blog right now. And don't forget, guys, you can post questions there. Right, you can get answers there as well. So everything can be done there on the blog. All right, let's keep moving here. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yep, 2, 4, 6, 7 total trades. You can see we still didn't take a trade on gold today. We're now going into day number 4 now of no trading on gold. We are almost there though, guys. We talked about that today in our live trade room, and really all we're waiting for right now is to get gold to give us a little bit more support and resistance. What we're seeing on gold is we jumped from the 810, we jumped the 1010 contract, and we went right to the 1210 contract. And so what's happening is now the rest of the market is trying to catch up to it, and until we start getting some patterns on our slower time frame for the gold, we really can't do very much with it. So of course the rest of the market's having the same problem right now. Of course, lack of confidence, not knowing what's happening on gold, is keeping a lot of people on, kind of on the sidelines on gold right now. I would imagine though, towards the end of this week, we should get gold back to the point where we can be trading it again. All right, now what I want you guys to see here though is 219 ticks, 2190, crude and the Russell. Now look at the Russell here, guys. A 97 tick winner in the Russell, a 45 tick winner in the Russell. All right, kind of had to earn that last trade. All right, my power went out. My power didn't go out. My data went out. Lost connection at about 11:30 this morning, right before we were taking that trade. We'll talk more about that in a second, but we had to earn that last couple ticks there on that Russell breaker pattern long. But you can see here, took some profit on crude, some profit on the Russell, right? 219 ticks. That brings our weekly total now to 4,070. Monthly total 4,070. Yearly total here now 110,000 and change, guys. Making our way through the year here. We'll keep you guys posted. Now, what's the most important thing that happened today? Well, of course, summertime trading, so opens are going to be slow. Most important thing we have to know about summertime trading is, guys, we're not going to get the volume at the open like we used to. Okay, month of August, you're going to have to wait for the volume to come in, and then you'll see it, right, disappear. So it's this roller coaster, right, of volume throughout the entire summertime. So July and August, really mostly just August, we've got to really be careful about the times of the day where we see low volume, and then look to trade during the times when we see fast volume. All right, guys, that's always the big challenge, summertime. We saw crude oil in transition. Okay, we had a bracket above, a bracket below on crude oil. Crude oil was in transition today, so we didn't get much out of crude today. Gold was still flat, waiting for volume. Right, but the Russell gave us this fantastic wedge pattern today, and we really, for the most part, we took everything out of that wedge pattern. We'll show you guys here in a second. Okay, so just remember, guys, most important thing about trading a summertime market is that you're going to see times of lots of volume and times of no volume. I'm going to use my pace of tape indicator. I'm going to use my time and sales window. I'll use momentum. Right, all of these will help me to determine when the fast time, right, when that volume is really moving quickly. All right, now here's what we saw on crude this morning. Take a look at crude oil here, and here's what we first saw on crude. Now the first thing you're going to notice here is on the left side, right, on my left side here, first thing I notice is we have two trading ranges. All right, now we have the range up top, and then we have the range down bottom. Now, of course, this particular snapshot, you can't really see it, but if you were to zoom out, hit the control key, and the up arrow, and that will zoom you out, and you can see where these trading ranges are. Okay, but what we knew is we saw right away here this morning, the top of the trading range at 80, top of the trading range here at 80, and the bottom of the range, bottom of the range at 80 here, and the top right here at 82, 82.10, 82.38. So we'll say 82.38. All right, there we go. So we know by looking at this chart right now, okay, that we are in a slightly transitional area in between these two. Okay, so see this area here between these two? So basically it's between 81.10, and 80.64. Okay, this little spot here between 81.10 and 80.64 right here, this is that transitional area. So it's a little bit complicated here, a little bit messy here on my chart, as you can see. But the bottom line was we noticed we had the range above us, we had the range below us. So basically what we said was, because of these trend lines right here, we decided we'd wait to break above this for an entry long. Okay, so above the 82 for a breaker pattern long, and then of course down here below 80, for our two-step pattern short. So we'd want to get a little bit above these trend lines here for the breaker pattern long, Remember, buying the bottom of the range above us. But if we can't break to the upside here, we knew if we go to the downside, getting below 80, that'd be a nice place for a short. Okay, so remember those two numbers, 82 and 80, 82 and 80. Those were my two big numbers. Okay, now let's look at my 13 range chart here. And my 13 range chart, what do we see? This really gave us a much better idea of what the market looked like. We've got double bottom, double top, and what do you see here? We see a sideways range. Okay, so our sideways trading range, what do we see here? 82.10, that'd be the breakout to the upside. Okay, to the downside, there it is below, 81. Okay, so we get a little bit better idea of how tight this sideways range is. But let's remember these numbers, 82 and 80. All right, 82 and 80. So at the end of this whole process this morning, what do we know about crude? We knew that crude had to get below 80 for me to want to take a short. We knew crude had to get above 82 for me to want to take a long trade. And we knew between 82 and 80, it was that transitional area where we want to be very careful. Okay, so that leads us now into our first trade of the morning. And as you can imagine, we're going to use exactly what we just discussed here. Now here's my first trade. And before we talk about this, what's going on here? Well, first of all, follow me down bottom here, guys. Lower right-hand corner. And you can see exactly what this kind of illustration is. Okay, well, basically all that's happened here, guys, is that now we find ourselves above, the range from yesterday. So here's the range from yesterday down bottom here. And of course, we break out above it. Now we're in the sideways range above, We're not in this transitional area here, That little difference between the two, that's that little transitional area. Okay, so what we're looking for here now is a breaker pattern long, Break above this resistance, and there's your breaker pattern long. So that's the pattern we're looking for. Okay, let's go over to my fast chart now. And so now, of course, you can see here, we are above, We're above the bracket. And so now we're going to buy the lows. Short-term trend is up. I can tell the trend by looking at the slope of my trigger line. We're going to break above again here. Remember that level, 82, 82.10. We break above it. There's my first swing high. I break above that swing high. That's my entry trigger, 82.20. We took 2 off at 4. That's 8. Plus 8 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. Times $10 per tick, 170 USD.